Hello, my name is Jeremy Turner. I'm a consultant endocrinologist in the Norfolk and Norwich University Hospital in Norfolk in the east of England. I'm a medical advisor to Parathyroid UK. My thanks to the organisers of this meeting for asking me to give a brief introduction on hypoparathyroidism for our session on the patient perspective on hypoparathyroid. Hypoparathyroidism is often described as an orphan disease. This is a disease that can be defined as one with a prevalence of less than approximately 1 in 3,500 people in the population, or alternatively, one that, quotes, has not been adopted by the pharmaceutical industry as it provides little incentive to make and market new medications, close quotes. This definition is no longer strictly applicable, as many of you will be aware. Until very recently, hypoparathyroidism was the only endocrine deficiency state not treated by hormone replacement therapy. But we do now have the availability of recombinant human parathyroid hormone, 1-84, or full length. More on that later. However, for the foreseeable future, the majority of patients with this condition will still continue to be treated with activated vitamin D metabolites and calcium salts. So a little bit on the management of chronic hypopara. We are in the fortunate position of having several authoritative consensus guidelines now on the management of this condition, and I've summarised perhaps three of the most widely recognised ones on the left-hand side of this slide. We've got the European Society for Endocrinology Clinical Guidelines, Boleslev et al. From 2015. We've got the Brandy et al. Guidelines from 2016, and then more recently we have the Khan et al. Canadian and international guidelines. They tend to say broadly similar things, and I've taken the bullet-pointed list on the right of this slide from one of these guidelines, and they tend to say things like maintain serum calcium level in the lower part or slightly below the lower limit of the reference range. Keep an eye on the 24-hour urinary calcium excretion. Try to keep that within the reference range. Serum phosphate levels should be within the reference range in order to avoid a high calcium phosphate product and risk of ectopic calcification, etc. So on the surface of it, following these guidelines should be relatively straightforward, and the majority of patients with this condition, in theory at least, should be able to receive high quality care for their hypo. So how are we doing? Well, in 2017, the charity Parathyroid UK commissioned a report on living with chronic hypopara, and this was a survey of approximately 230 of their members with this condition. And the sad truth of the matter is we are doing shockingly badly. Some of the headlines results are summarised in this slide, and as you will see, only 11% of patients with this condition were under the care of a specialist with particular expertise in this condition. 2/3 of patients felt that their care could be improved upon. 71% of patients found that their condition was having a significant impact on their ability to maintain their normal lifestyle, and 22% of patients, so more than 1 in 5, were having an unplanned hospital attendance or hospital admission every year. Some of the morbid burden in terms of symptomatology is summarised in this right-hand column here. 70% suffering from bone pain, 51% migraine-like headaches, 67% depression, 61% dizziness. So there is clearly a really significant symptomatic burden associated with the condition. This report is not alone. This slide here highlights the results from the Paradox study, a large US online survey of over 370 adults with this condition, and it shows similar findings, and I've highlighted the key findings in yellow here. And shockingly here, 80% of respondents to this survey had had an unplanned hospital stay or an emergency department visit. So clearly we need to do better. How are we going to do better? This is the question. In the UK, in the NHS setting, we now have the GIRFT, or Getting It Right First Time initiative, which is in essence a quality control process where specialists from each specialism make departmental visits and submit reports on what they think can be done to improve the service, and also to attempt to standardise the quality of service that each department is giving. And we also now have the SSQD, or Specialised Services Quality Dashboard, which again is another centrally administered quality control initiative. And within this, I'm pleased to say that there are now 2 questions specifically on the management of chronic hypoparathyroidism. So there are forces at play in the background to improve services. My own opinion, how can we make things better for patients with chronic hypopara? I've summarised my 4 key bullet points here. Please communicate with your patients. Please listen to what your patients are saying. Please remember that it's not all about the numbers and the blood tests. Please hear what they are reporting about their symptoms and prioritise symptom control as well. Please make frequent blood tests easily available with open access to both the testing and the results. This will help. And finally, what of the future? Well, I'm pleased to say that we are now entering the dawn of a new era with recombinant human parathyroid hormone, rh-PTH1-84, starting to become available. And there is a nice evidence base showing that one of the things that this really improves is quality of life for patients. So I'm cautiously optimistic that things will get better. Thank you.